7 years ago, when Jesus first revealed his calling for me, which was for me to physically live in China and testify for him, I immediately booked the plane ticket and ready to go. But in the last moment, I was talked out of this trip by someone. And for the subsequent years, even though I was able to make to China twice, but in the back of my mind, I still felt I was disobedient to God at that time when he told me to go to China. So whenever there was some problems in life that I encountered, I would always blame myself, saying, you should have gone to China in 2016, but you didn't. And this is the consequence of your disobedience, quote unquote. And it wasn't until 2 years ago when I was relating this story to one of the sisters, a true believer in Christ, and she said something that enlightened me. She said that if it's God's will for you to do something at a certain time, there is not any amount of disobedience coming from you that can overcome God's will. In another word, we are not strong enough. Okay, our disobedience is not strong enough to overcome God's will. So don't worry about disobeying God, or if something that you did was not pleasing to God. Because if it's God's will at a certain time for something to happen, it will happen no matter what. Because He is sovereign, He is almighty. And many times when God calls us to do something, He doesn't have a timeline attached to it. And it's important for us to wait on God, to be patient, to wait for Him to act on our behalf, instead of relying on our abilities and our wits and try to make things happen ourselves. Because when God thinks the timing is right, when you're ready, He will make a way for you, and everything will come naturally, and opportunities would rise, doors will be opened, and then you know that, oh, this is divine providence from God, and all the waiting, all the patience would make sense. And just to reiterate, don't doubt whether you heard God correctly or not the first time. If you're sure that it is God's calling, hold on to that faith, and don't doubt yourself, don't doubt God's love for you, nor the calling. Just know that if the time is right, there's not any amount of disobedience coming from us that can overcome God's will. May Jesus be with you.